Unit 1, Week 2. We're doing subjects and predicates this week. And we're going to start with complete subjects and predicates. All sentences have a subject, who or what the sentence is about, and a predicate, something that tells you about the subject. Some sentences can have more than one subject or more than one predicate. A complete subject includes all the words in the subject, like my dog. The sentence is about my dog. And here I'm finding out what's happening with my dog. My dog runs outside with me. Check out this one, the purple kitten. That's who my sentence is about. I've never actually had a purple kitten, but maybe someday. And here is my predicate. It tells you what my purple kitten is doing. He climbs the tree. So let's try to find some. The students read every day. Well, the students, that's who my sentence is about. That's your subject. My predicate, read every day, tells you what they do. What about this sentence? I am learning to surf. Well, the sentence is about myself, so I is the only word in the subject. And here's what I'm doing. I'm learning to surf. Now, we have a little tip. If you're looking for simple subjects, that's going to be where you find the whole subject first, and then you look for the word that is the exact subject of the sentence. Like my dog is who the sentence is about, but the exact subject here, the simple subject it's called, is dog. Sometimes you can have your complete subject and your simple subject be the same thing. So find the red section and then look for the exact word that's a simple subject. So let's try here. So here we have our whole complete subject, the purple kitten. So now we need to find what thing actually climbs the tree. Well, it's not purple that climbs the tree. It's the kitten that climbs the tree. So kitten is what's called a simple subject in this sentence. Well, what about predicates? Just like before, we find the complete predicate, and then we look for the word that the thing is actually doing, like runs. Sometimes it might be another kind of verb, like is. Let's try one. The purple kitten climbs the tree. So we find the full predicate, climbs the tree, and then we look for what exactly is the purple kitten doing. She's climbing. So we have climbs. Now, sometimes they try to trick you a little bit. In this sentence, am learning to surf. That was our complete predicate, all the things I'm doing. But when we're looking for the simple predicate, this time it's two words because you can't have learning by itself. I learning to surf, that doesn't sound right. I am learning to surf. So these two words together, which make up our verb, those are our simple predicate. So now you try. We have to decide if the underlined words in the sentence are a simple subject, so that's going to be one word that's the exact subject of the sentence, the complete subject, all the words in the subject, like my dog, the simple predicate, the exact verb, or the complete predicate, all the things about the subject. So here we have, I went for a walk. The correct answer here is it's a simple subject and a complete subject. Let's try this sentence. Ryan spotted a dog. Well, Ryan's my subject, so spotted a dog is my predicate. But now I need to decide, is it a simple predicate or a complete predicate? A complete predicate includes all the words in my predicate. A simple predicate is going to be the exact word that Ryan's doing. So Ryan's spotting the dog. Spotted would be a simple predicate. Since they underlined the entire phrase here, it's a complete predicate. Let's try the last one. Oh, there's two more. The red sweater was dirty. Well, we have the subject, the red sweater. Was dirty would be the complete predicate. Since it doesn't underline both words, we have to do a simple predicate here. And we have our class is the best. Well, our class would be the whole subject. And do you see how it's not all underlined? Just class is underlined. So that is a simple subject. Let's try a sorting game to practice our complete subjects and simple subjects. So, decide if the underlined section is a complete subject, a simple subject, a complete predicate, or a simple predicate. Before I move each one, you can pause the video to see if you decide where it belongs. The new bakery made the best muffins. That is a complete predicate here, made the best muffins. What about this one? The new principal played tag. That one's a complete subject. It has all the words that are included in the subject. How about this? Someday the girls would learn their lesson. Well, the sentence is about the girls. And this is a simple subject because it doesn't have the girls in, so it doesn't make it a complete subject. How about this? The fish swam up the river. That one's a complete subject too. The fish is what the sentence is about. After the dance, I was starving. Now this sentence has something at the beginning, but it's about I, and it's telling you about me. It's telling you that I was starving. Now, this is the kind of sentence, though, that it fits both. It's a complete predicate, was starving, because it includes everything that is about my subject, but it's also simple because it's the verb just by itself. All of the cars drove down the road and through town. Well, it's about the cars, and that's not underlined, so it's not in the subject sentence. But it is telling you what they did. They drove down the road and through town, so it's a complete predicate. Let's try a few more. Here's the same sentence, but we have something else underlined. I'm going to move these other sentences down for us. This one has all of the cars drove down the road and through town. So let's look at our options. This one tells you exactly what the cars did. They drove. So that's a simple predicate. How about this one? All of the cars. Did you say complete subject? Or how about this one? The quiet kitten was black and small. Well, complete subject would be quiet kitten, and since they only underlined kitten, we need to go in the middle section. I'm going to stack some of these up so we have room for more sentences. Here we have our quiet kitten again, but now what's underlined is everything about the quiet kitten. That would be a complete predicate. We got almost them all. All of the cars drove down the road and through town. Well, now, before we had all of the cars were underlined. Now just cars is underlined. So that one's a simple subject. Two more. The man wore a blue coat. Well, what is he doing? He's wearing something. It's a simple predicate. If they had underlined the whole thing, wore a blue coat, then we'd get to move it onto this side. Once a day, they fished. Well, I know who's fishing. They are. So that one is a simple subject, but it's also a complete subject because there aren't any other words within the subject. Let's check and see how we did. Ooh, there must be a few more underneath. We missed a couple. Mr. Larson left with a hamburger. Oh, that one goes in between. He's a simple and a complete subject. My class was quiet. Was is the verb, so it's a simple predicate. And the cat purred. That fits in the middle too. It includes just the verb and any other parts after. I think we did excellently. If you need to come back and check any of them, you could come to this page to check. You could save this part of the video for another day if you'd like, but this is where we're going to talk about compound subjects. So if you watched the first part of the video today, you might need a little grammar break. If you want to watch the whole thing, that's fine. Or tomorrow you could just skip ahead to this section because this is about learning about compound subjects. That's when you have two or more subjects in a sentence. Like here I have the teacher and the students. But I have one thing they're doing. They're learning about sentences. So this sentence is a compound subject sentence. So let's try one. The spaghetti and the pizza were my favorite. I do love pizza. Notice here I have the spaghetti, one subject, and the pizza, that's another subject. So let's see if you can combine them. I went for a walk, Katie went for a walk. Instead of having both of them, how could I put them together? Katie and I went for a walk. Well, what if there's three sentences? What if three people are going for a walk? Then we do Josh, comma, Kristen, comma, and Greg went for a walk. We use commas in between if we have more than two things. Now we did compound subjects. What about compound predicates? That's when you have one subject, like the teacher, but she's going to do two things. She's going to listen and learn. So let's try a sentence. Here we have the telephone. There's our one subject. Okay. Check out the two things the telephone does. It rings and it interrupts my reading time. So let's try to combine. Check out Katie here. She's doing two things. She dances on Wednesday and she plays the tuba on Wednesday. So instead of doing two separate sentences, let's combine them into one. So we're going to keep Katie because she's in both sentences. Katie dances and plays the tuba. And when did she do that? On Wednesday. Well, what if there's three things? And now Kristen's going to do three. So we're going to start with her. Kristen went for a walk. Now, just like up here, when we combined the three people that were walking, do you remember how we put commas in between Josh, Kristen, and Greg because there were three people? We have to do the same thing when we list three predicates. Kristen went for a walk, comma, ate a hamburger, comma, and listened to music. So if there are three things in the list, we put commas. Check out up here. Did I put any commas if there were just two things? I didn't, so watch out for that. Conjunctions are things that join your two subjects or your two predicates together. You could have a conjunction like and, or you sometimes have conjunctions that need a partner, like neither nor or either or. So let's try some sentences. Does this sentence have a compound subject or a compound predicate? Katie eats spaghetti and pizza. Well, let's read the hint. Okay, well, we have one subject here. I see Katie, so it's not a compound subject. To be a compound predicate, she has to do two things. Well, here I see she's eating. So is she doing two things? Well, no, she's not walking or running. She's just eating. So this sentence, it's not a compound subject and it's not a compound predicate. It's neither. It's just a simple sentence. Katie's eating. Now, she happens to be eating two things, so she'll probably be pretty full. So why don't you try some? Underline the compound predicate or compound subject, and then write which one it is, and circle each conjunction. Watch out for that when you do your own assignment. A lot of kids tend to forget that part. So here, I check out, I see that the man, it's about the man, and he's laughing and snoring in his sleep. What do you have two of? Do you have two subjects or two predicates? Well, I notice I have two predicates. And the two things he's doing is laughing and snoring. So I'm going to circle my conjunction, and on the line, I would write that I have a compound predicate. Now, if you want, you can just underline laughs and snores. Oop. That would be the two things that he's doing. What about this one? Either the librarian or the teacher will read the book. This one is the compound subject. We have the librarian and or the teacher. So here we had a compound predicate. And here we have a compound subject. Let's try one more. Do you or your friends like this movie? Well, we have myself in it, you, and your friends. Because the sentence has myself in it and my friends, it has two subjects. So this one is a compound subject sentence. Now, I think there are some things I was forgetting in the directions. So let's go back. It said I had to underline each compound predicate or subject. I did that. I had to write what it was in the line. I did that. Circle each conjunction. Uh-oh, I only did that once. So I better go back and circle the word that links them together. And now I can check myself. Laughs and snores in his sleep. Yep, compound predicate. Librarian or teacher, subject. You or your friends, subject. We're doing great. This week, we also get to talk about commas, and we talked about them a little bit earlier in the video. Do you remember when I listed 3 things? Well, let's talk about ways we can use commas. We use it to separate 3 things, like we did earlier in the video. We had Kristen, Josh, and Greg that were going for a walk, so we put commas in between them. Here's an example. I enjoy playing basketball, comma, baseball, comma, and soccer. Here's another time we might use commas. There are these things when you read called appositives, and appositives give you more information about something in the sentence. Sometimes it gives you definitions. Sometimes it just explains something more. Like in this sentence, I could have, our teacher likes to tell jokes. But I want you to know the name of our teacher. It's Mr. Reynolds. So I put commas around his name. If you see commas around something, you could take that part out of the sentence, and it should still make sense. Our teacher likes to tell jokes. But if you put this appositive in here, it gives you more information. One last way. Commas can set off introductory words. Those are things at the beginning of a sentence, like, yes, I would like you to use commas correctly. Or, thank you, I would like some more pizza. All right, our last slide of the video. Let's see if we can do some proofreading and fix some comma mistakes. We have a project due on Friday. Yes, I'm not done yet. We have to do a presentation and create a display. I've been painting, writing, and practicing my speech. My display is colorful, bright, and informative. My speech, the presentation, is long. I hope I have everything done on time. So pause the video, see if you can find things that aren't correct. Okay, here we go. Let's fix the mistakes. We have a project due on Friday. Yes is an introductory word, so it needs a comma after it. Yes, I'm not done yet. Now check out this next sentence. We have to do a display and we have to do a presentation and create a display. We're doing 2 things. Can I have a comma between if I'm just doing 2 things? Nope, I got to take that one out. That would be like if you had a sentence that said, John and Roger are riding to the store. You wouldn't have a comma between John and Roger because they're just two things. I've been painting, writing, and practicing my speech. Well, that looks like three things I'm doing. Painting, comma, writing, comma, and practicing my speech. My display is colorful, bright, and informative. Well, three things again. Colorful, bright, and informative. My speech, the presentation, is long. Well, that kind of sounds funny, but I think it's supposed to be in a positive. My speech, comma, which is my presentation, so I need commas around it, is long. I hope I have everything done on time. Let's check. We have a project due on Friday. Yes, comma, I'm not done yet. We have to do a presentation and create a display. I've been painting, comma, writing, comma, and practicing my speech. My display is colorful, bright, and informative. My speech, the presentation part, oops, I was missing a word up there, is long. I hope I have everything done on time. We better put the word part in here. That would help it make more sense. My speech, the presentation part, is long. There we go. Now we got it all. Try out the pages in your packet, and if you have questions, let me know.